Hello again, everyone. This is another lesson in my Anatomy of Change series. This lesson is titled Quiet Desperation. My basic thought here is that we should really try to accomplish whatever we can, when we can, and as soon as we can, and just be steady with it. A lot of us live our lives in quiet desperation, having this daily sense of hopelessness, like you're just suffering from a loss of hope that cannot be fixed. And we just live like that all the years of our lives, and we wonder how some people do it, and sometimes some of us go on to hating other people, when maybe we should more hate whatever we are not doing, when maybe we should more, have a dislike for not doing the things that we need to do, not making another effort. I tell you, if you feel very hopeless and you cannot find any change, and you're in this state of quiet desperation all the time, and you've got some dreams that you've always wanted to accomplish and you just can't seem to find the way to bring it to pass, you can actually still accomplish something. I've thought about this for years, and it's coming to me that all of us can still do something, no matter what place we find ourselves in life. Your dreams may not be done the way you first think of them, and some of your main thoughts may not happen just the way you want them to happen. Remember, when you have a dream to get something done in life, you've got a lot of fluff around the dream, and all the little, might I call them here, extra things that you'd like to see, because we have this perfection kind of sensation about our dreams. And a dream comes in a way where it is filled with glamour and brightness and flashiness and a lot of power packed into it, and you're just going to do it just a certain way. Because if a dream comes to you less than what seems flashy, you won't have enough drive to go after it. So a dream comes to you looking very perfect, very well, the most astronomical kind of thoughts that just lets you think, of just shooting up to the stars. When in reality, most of us on Earth don't accomplish stuff way up in the stars. You might just be closer down here on Earth, but that's still fine, because a lot of us don't actually accomplish anything noteworthy. But a dream will come looking like it's way up in the stars that you need to go to. When dreams really are made to be accomplished here on Earth, but the extra power is packed into the dream to ensure that you've got enough drive to get it started. And sometimes you need more of the drive just to get it started, because once you get it moving, it will just keep going, oftentimes. Now, while a lot of us live with quiet desperation, and it's like a lot of us just go to our graves with this quiet dream that we've never been able to do anything with, and we just watch ourselves living in ways where it's just, it's just not going to happen. But you can change your mind, because mostly we are taught in a way that cultures our mind to thinking that if we don't do it in this particular kind of way, just the way we feel it, just the way it comes to us, then it's not going to happen. But no, just change your mind. Let's picture a worst case scenario. If you have not been able, maybe for the different ailments and problems in life, a lot of struggles that you've been through, you don't have enough resources and enough people around you to assist you, help direct you, and so on, you can still, even on your deathbed, do something about that dream. See, if you never do anything about that quiet dream that's inside your mind, then that means you never became active with it in any kind of way. So you die in quiet desperation. The dream is just gone to the grave with you. You are never mentioned at all in connection with that dream. Nobody ever sees anything that dream accomplished. Nothing came to fruition based on that dream you had. You had it silently all the years of your life, and you died quietly with it. If for whatever reason in this life you were not able to get something done about your dream and you just felt really hopeless all along, that could have been because a lot of obstacles were in your way and you just weren't able to bring it together. Other times, it could just be your own silliness in life, your behaviors, your mistakes that you made in life that actually injured your dreams, injured your progress. And so you were not able to, and let's face it, dreams still have to deal with your own personal habits and your mishaps and the weather in your life, the climate in your life. And so you might not be able to accomplish just because of those things as well. You got a nasty attitude, you've tried to keep it in check, you've tried to improve on it and so on, but sometimes you still just rub people in the wrong way. And some of that is sometimes because of the way you were brought up and you're just rough around the edges all the time. You don't trust people, you don't whatever. Those things, as much as it was unfair to you to have people treat you in certain ways that let you, end up growing up in that kind of way where you're just angry all the time and so on, and people don't want to be around you and so on. Those things still affect your dreams. But you don't have to die doing nothing about it. If on your last day, even on your deathbed, I'm going to tell you what you can do about that quiet desperation. Instead of dying being an unfinished dreamer, because you were not able to do any of or finish your dream, before you take your last breath, you can still lay on a dying bed and tell the next person your dream. You can infect someone else with your dream. Instead of being an unfinished dreamer, if at the last moment, let's say even you had to spend a lot of time in prison, many years, by the time you get out, it's just time for you to die anyway. For whatever reason you were in prison for, and life just really took a turn for the worst, on your last day, infect someone with your dream, and you would have done something about your dream. Because a part of bringing a dream to fruition also includes speaking about that dream. Maybe you could not bring it together in other ways, but you can tell somebody what you desired to do in this life. And if you had the chance to live it over again, this is how you would approach it, or this is what you would try to accomplish. Then that is action in itself, because you spread it out there, you put it out into the world. It is no longer as silent as it was all along. Sometimes people get infected with a dream that someone else was not able to bring to pass. and it grips them so much that they take on the dream and begin to do something about it and live it out. The Most High said to Abraham, get up, leave your father's house, I'm going to make a multitude out of you, many nations are going to come out of you. The dream was not realized all in Abraham's life, but because he took some action, eventually many nations came out of him. It does not have to happen in your life, but as long as the dream gets done because you are willing to move in some kind of way, it can still happen. Let's look here at Deuteronomy chapter 34, and then I'll read from Joshua 1 to close it off. And Moses went up from the plains of Moab unto the mountain of Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, that is over against Jericho. And the Most High showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan. Verse 4, and the Most High said unto him, this is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thy seed. I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over thither. So Moses, the servant of the Most High, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Most High. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, over against Beth Peor, but no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this day. Verse 8 and 9, and the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days, so the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were ended. Note here that this is a key point in your life when you should always try to bring about some kind of change. When something has come to an end in your life, take the opportunity to review your life and to shift into another gear in some kind of way. Bring some kind of change in your life. It will refresh you and give you some impetus, some drive, some move toward your dream or to the next thing you want to do in your life when something has come to an end. Verse 9, and Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him, and the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as the Most High commanded Moses. Notice it says that he was full of the spirit of wisdom. So Moses had poured into him over time. He had worked along with Moses. Notice that Joshua wasn't getting up trying to accomplish the things that Moses did at first. Moses came and with a message from the Most High and began to do stuff. Joshua wasn't doing it. But when Moses started to be on the move, then Joshua kicked in and learned a lot of stuff, watched Moses, learned from him and so on, and became full with the Spirit. So Moses laid all this stuff on him. He was infected with the dream that Moses came back from Midian with. And it was noted at the time when Moses was exiting. Now, if you look at Joshua chapter 1 and verse 1, it says, now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Most High, it came to pass that the Most High spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Keep in mind, Moses, my servant. Sometimes we get trapped because we think we belong to someone else, because someone else is letting us work in their ministry, someone is raising us up, someone is doing whatever, but they're just going to support you as long as you support them. And you will be there forever in some cases because you are too afraid to move, too afraid to accomplish, too afraid to work on your dreams because you feel someone owns you. The Most High says, Moses, my servant. He was always a servant of the Most High. No matter how much he served Israel, no matter which other ministers were around him, no matter the board was around him, no matter that, whatever. Moses, my servant, he belonged to the Most High. Until you see yourself as belonging to the Most High and not to your pastor, not to your church, not to the board, not to your camp, until you see that you belong to the Most High, and at any moment he can say, get up and move. Get up and accomplish. Get up and do. Until you see yourself as being spirited by the Most High because you belong to him, and he will raise you up and put a message in your mouth, put some capabilities in your hands, and get your feet moving. Until you see you belong to him, you run the risk of living and dying in quiet desperation. You belong to the Most High. Then it says, my servant is dead. Now therefore arise. Go over this Jordan. You see again, go over. It gives him a big job. He can't say, oh my goodness, Moses isn't here. How am I going to pull this off? Go over this Jordan. When you've got a dream, instead of being fearful and living in quiet desperation, feeling hopeless like you cannot do it, you've got to go by the word that you feel pressing you inside of your mind, and take on a task that might seem big enough, but the power to get it done comes based on the strength of that dream. If you've got a strong dream, a strong power, strong capability, a mighty strength will rise up in you as you begin to take it on. Go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Then he says, only be thou strong in verse 7 and very courageous. And so many times we are so afraid of accomplishing because people know too much about us. People have threatened us. People are keeping us in fear. And you just never accomplish. You know, most times people scare you because they are afraid of where you're going to go. They're afraid they can't contain you if you begin to stand up. They're afraid they can't contain you and hold you back if you open your mouth. They are afraid of everything, but they themselves deal with their own fears. If somebody is putting fear on you, they are afraid of something as well. But he says, be strong and very courageous. Now let me skip down to verse 9. He says, have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Most High thy power is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. Whithersoever? All that I have commanded thee? How did that command happen? These people, I've thought of it for a long time. At the end of the day, no matter how you interpret the scriptures, they got a message from the Most High in their mind. When you have a message from the Most High in your mind that's driving you, and you can tell this is a righteous thing, it's going to come to you in your mind. Obey that commandment. It is instruction for your life. And he says, I'm going to be with you whithersoever. You think it is too great. They've put you down. They said, you can't accomplish that. You can't do it. And so you go on in fear and hopelessness thinking, man, if I branch out on my own, if I take on this task, if I start to do that, I don't have the help. I don't have the support. Listen, they didn't have the support at first either, but they started. And now you and so many others joined in to help them. Your help will come eventually if you just begin to do it instead of living and wallowing in quiet desperation. And the Most High said, whithersoever. You take on all the other scriptures as much as possible to incorporate their meanings in your life. Will you not today incorporate this in your life as well when the scripture says whithersoever? You have a dream in this life, something you want to do based on what you feel the Most High is driving you toward, to accomplish something in your own life for the people around you and for others and so on, to make this earth even a better place. Whithersoever, whatsoever, no matter where you go, the power that created you is with you and will help you whithersoever. People accomplish all kinds of dreams in this life, even against the odds, and you can do it too. You can do it. And should for whatever reason you fail to accomplish all that you want to, instead of dying in quiet desperation, feeling guilty that you did not hit the mark, be proud of all that you thought to do. Be proud that you carried a dream for 20, for 30 years. Instead of putting yourself down saying, I was too fearful all these years. No, change that and be proud that at least you carried the dream strong enough for it to still be alive after 30 years of doing nothing about it. You have got to change your mind. The truth is, instead of putting yourself down for what you did not accomplish, it's too late in your life. It's too late to still give yourself one last moment of despair about how you did not do this and that. It will make you even further, even more hopeless. Pick yourself up and encourage yourself and to say, you know what? I can't change any of that now. I made all the mistakes I could have made in my life. But I credit myself with some joy, with some good feeling, with some last hope that something can still be done. Because at least I did not accomplish this and that. But one thing I accomplished. I kept the dream alive for 30, for 40 years. And it is just as strong today as the day I first got it. And you can on your last day infect someone with that dream and just leave the rest to the Most High to work it through the next person. Instead of being known as an unfinished dreamer who never even spoke about the dream that they could not accomplish because of lack of resources or fear or whatever, at least they were not too afraid to speak it to you thinking, oh, they're going to think I'm just an idiot having a dream like that, like crazy dream like that. But they'll say, he believed in his dream and he told it to me. She told it to me. And I worked at it and this is what I started. This is what I accomplished so far. You then become mentioned. As opposed to if you said nothing, you would be an unmentioned and unfinished dreamer. But because you said it and someone else that the Most High worked with picked it up and worked on it and made something out of it because they were so driven as well. Because you never know who the Most High will place in your path. He could have brought someone else along who had a similar kind of dream, just didn't know how to structure it, didn't know the proper thoughts, how to whatever. But your dream helped them to get moving with it just by you telling them. Then after they mention you years later, you won't be the unfinished dreamer, the unmentioned dreamer. You will be mentioned that this person gave me the drive to get up and do something about this because they told me their dream. And I realized I had the same kind of dream, but I didn't know how to structure it. Life came into me when they told me how to structure the dream that I have, that they also had, that they didn't have the capacity or the funds or so to get it moving. Then you become mentioned. Why? Because you still, at your last moment, did something about that dream. You pumped life with it into someone else. You don't have to be living anymore in quiet desperation. Do what you can do today, starting now. And it will change your life, change someone else's life, change the world around you in some kind of way. Whatever is given to you, you will bring change no matter what. This is quiet desperation, the anatomy of change.